Russia. It's a name that just conjures up these images of immense scale, of power, of a culture that's so vast it literally spans two continents, Europe and Asia. It's a story of extremes, really. From its climate to its history, and today, we're going to dive right in and try to make sense of it all. Okay, to really get a handle on Russia's size, you just have to look at this comparison. At 17.1 million square kilometers, it's not just big, it's almost double the size of the world's second largest country, Canada. That's not a small lead, folks. It's the largest country on Earth, and it's not even a close race. So what does that massive size actually mean in real life? It means this: 11. Russia stretches across 11 different time zones. I mean, think about that. When people are just starting their workday with a coffee in Moscow, it's already dark and well into the evening on the country's Pacific coast. It's wild. But Russia's geography is about so much more than just its mind-boggling size. It's a land that's really defined by superlatives, a collection of some of the most extreme and, honestly, awe-inspiring natural environments you can find on the planet. This huge territory creates this incredible mosaic of completely different landscapes. Way up in the far north, you've got the frozen, almost alien, treeless world of the Arctic tundra. Go a little south and you enter the taiga, this endless ocean of forest that's the biggest one on Earth. Then the whole landscape just opens up into the massive, fertile grasslands of the steppe. And holding it all together are two great mountain ranges: the Urals, which famously slice Europe from Asia, and the Caucasus in the southwest, where you'll find Europe's highest peaks. And if you need just one example to really understand Russia's natural scale, look no further than Lake Baikal. It's tucked away in Siberia, and it's not just the world's deepest and oldest lake. Get this, it holds about 1/5 of all the unfrozen freshwater on the entire planet's surface. That is a natural resource of truly global importance. So how in the world did this gigantic nation even come to be? Well, its history isn't just long. It's this incredibly dramatic and complex story of empires rising, falling, and constantly reinventing themselves for over 1,000 years. The name itself has really ancient roots. It comes from the Rus people. Now, this was a group of Eastern Slavs and Viking traders who, way back in the 9th century, set up the very first organized state in the area, known as Kievan Rus. They basically laid the cultural and political groundwork for everything that came after. This timeline really captures the wild swings of power in Russia's story. It kicks off with that early state of Kievan Rus. Then it moves into the era of the Tsars, with figures like Ivan the Terrible, and then expands into this huge Russian empire under Peter the Great. But the 20th century, that brought absolutely massive change. The 1917 revolution wiped out the monarchy, which led to the 70-year Soviet era. And then that, too, collapsed in 1991, giving us the modern Russian Federation we know today. All right, but beyond the massive landscapes and the turbulent politics, the real soul of Russia, that lies in its people and their unbelievably rich cultural heritage, which has left a huge mark on the entire world. Now, while the country is mainly Russian Orthodox Christian, and that has deeply shaped its art and its identity, it's truly a multi-faith nation. With a population of over 144 million people, you also have large Muslim communities and followers of Judaism, Buddhism, and other faiths, which really reflects its diverse ethnic makeup. Russia's impact on world culture is just profound. I mean, in literature, you have giants like Tolstoy and Dostoevsky, who are asking these deep, universal questions about life and morality. In performance, they basically perfected classical ballet, making it a national treasure. And in music, my gosh, composers like Tchaikovsky gave us melodies that are loved and recognized all over the world, becoming part of our global soundtrack. You know, even Russia's national symbol tells this story of duality. That double-headed eagle isn't just some ancient symbol of power, it's a statement of identity. One head is looking west towards Europe, and the other is looking east towards Asia. It's a perfect visual for a nation that's always been a bridge between two worlds. So how does all this immense geography and turbulent history play out in the modern world? Let's take a look at Russia's economy, its political structure, and its role on the global stage right now. Russia's economy is really interesting because it tells two different stories. If you look at its nominal GDP, that's the measure of its total economic output on the world market, it ranks around 11th. But if you look at something called purchasing power parity, which measures what that money can actually buy inside Russia, it skyrockets up to 4th. That huge difference points to a very strong domestic market, where money just goes a lot farther, giving it some serious internal economic strength. And the foundation of that economy It's all about its incredible natural wealth. Russia is a genuine resource superpower. We're talking about being the world's #1 exporter of both natural gas and wheat, and the second largest exporter of oil. That kind of dominance gives it huge influence over the world's energy and food supplies.
So, how is it all governed? Politically, the country is set up as a federation. It has a very powerful president at the top, who is also the commander-in-chief, and a legislature called the Federal Assembly. The whole nation is divided into 85 different federal subjects, a mix of republics, regions, and cities, and they each have different levels of their own autonomy.
Of course, you can't really talk about modern Russia without mentioning its most significant recent challenge. The military conflict in Ukraine, which started in 2022, has completely reshaped the nation's relationship with the West. The international sanctions that followed have created major problems for its economy, hitting its access to global tech and finance and forcing it to look for new partners. And that brings us to the final and most important question. For a nation with this kind of incredible scale, with such a deep and powerful history, and now facing a brand new set of modern challenges, what will Russia's next chapter even look like? That remains one of the most significant and defining questions of our time.